To be honest with you, when I read, especially at the beginning of the book, I read what I went through. Every time I read it, I cry. And I'm thinking, all this crap that I went through, sneaking around, doing this, taking nail polish off, putting nail polish back on, you know, on and on. It just, every time I read it, because today my life is so simple. I just get up in the morning and be myself. How simple is that? It's just wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling.
It's just getting there.
Yeah. But am I looking? I know my mom's wonderful. I mean, she's great. And she was the last person for me to tell.
Really?
It was just, for me, the hardest one to tell. Honestly, I had already shot Diane Sawyer and still not had told her. And I knew it was coming out in like 2 months. And I said, oh my God, I got to. I've told my kids, my sister, everybody. And, you know, and Mom would always ask me, I was going through the grocery line and, you know, I saw this stuff, what's going on? And I would say, Mom, it's the tabloids, it's the tabloids. And finally I had to tell her, well, it's more, there's more to the story. As far as a companion, I have a lot of trans friends, and relationships are probably one of the most difficult things for them, being trans. I have a lot of friends that are 18, 19, 20 years old. They're at a different place in life. They want to date. They want to go out. They want to have a family. They want to have children, whichever way they can do it, but they want to have children, just like any normal human being. And I am kind of fortunate in a lot of ways because I did this at a much later time in life. I already had all my children. I don't regret anything I've done, even transitioning at the age of 65. I don't regret anything. I had a wonderful life. I raised 10 children, wonderful kids, smart, intelligent children. I have my 11th grandchild. You know, it's kind of cool because all the grandchilds only know Caitlin. It's kind of cool. I like that. And, you know, I have this wonderful family, this wonderful large family. So it's not like I need a family, I need relationships. Yeah, if there was somebody in my life that really enjoyed a lot of the things I was doing and being a companion and friend, yeah, why not? I would welcome that, but it's not high on my priority list. High on my priority list is trying to make a difference, trying to bring this issue forward, trying to make it better for the next generation coming up. I have lived a very privileged life, okay? But also, I have worked my ass off all my life. Okay? It's not like anybody gave me that. I worked to win the games. I tried to be smart in business. I raised wonderful kids. Yeah, I worked for that.
You were the best in the world.
I was the best in the world.
In the world.
Those were good days.
Yes.
Okay? But it didn't tell the whole story. And so I understand that. But how can I use that and that platform to try to make a difference? My loyalties are not with the Republican Party. My loyalties are not with Donald Trump, okay? Just because I believe in like the Constitution, limited government, obviously lower taxes for everybody, less regulations, a thriving economy. I'm not a fan of the government. I'm a fan of the people of this country, okay? To get us out of any issue, we got to get it out of. And they just have to be able to give the freedom to be able to do that. My issues or my loyalty lies with my community, to make it better for my community. I feel like I would rather try to convince the Republican Party to do a better job when it comes to equality for all and equality for the LGBTQ community than try to fight the Democrats on lowering taxes and less regulations and bigger government. So that's where my fight is. And I will fight the Republicans. I mean, big time. I have no problem. I don't know if you saw my little Instagram post the other day. I went after Donald Trump and Jeff Sessions. And it looks like here in the near future, we're going to have to again. You know, like Trump, I did go back to the inauguration. The reason I went there is to meet people. I would say 80–90% of the things I do politically, you have no idea what I'm doing, and I do not do it publicly. I do it privately behind closed doors. I want the Republican Party to get to know a trans person. I literally have sat down at a private home having dinner with 15 evangelical, Christian, conservative, Republican senators and congressmen, as we would call them, the enemy, okay? And I sat there with Zachary Drucker, who is my assistant and deals with all trans issues, and one of the great trans women of all time. She's just wonderful. And we sat down, and I guarantee you, everybody in that room had never met anybody who was trans, don't know the issues. And I told them, look, I'm a Christian. I do have conservative thoughts. I'm a Republican, okay, but I'm also trans. And we sat for 3 hours, talked about faith, talked about the issues of our community, and by the end of it, one of the guys in the back says, you know, hey, when we get to policy, could we talk to you? You know, could you come back? And I said, sure. That's the reaction that I want. I work very closely with the American Unity Fund.
And what is that?
They are headed up by Margaret Hoover is the president, and a guy named Tyler Deaton, who is the most greatest human being ever. I talked to him just before I came over here. Smartest guy. Their only mission statement is, and they're very well funded, to get the Republican Party to do a better job when it comes to all LGBTQ issues. And they are on top of everything. I mean, they know everything, where all the bodies are buried. I think the best thing that the Republican Party could ever do, I don't know if it's going to be able to do it, is to do a better job when it comes to equality. I would like to fight for that. And I will do it publicly. Yeah, if he messes with us, I will come after him. I will look at it very closely. If he does stuff like that, I honestly will probably call him the most anti-LGBTQ president we've had. And I firmly believe that. I talked to him during the campaign, and I was hopeful, okay? I was hopeful. He was actually pretty good on gay issues, those types of things. And he even supported, you know, he brought it up at the convention and to a thunderous applause, so I thought that's positive. But also there was a girl named Jenna Telekova, who was in 2012, she was in the Canadian Miss Universe pageant, a trans woman. And he really supported her. He owned the Miss Universe pageant. And he supported her. He said, hey, look, if she makes it to the finals, she's in, and we're going to welcome her here. Which those are the types of things I thought are very good. I think he's surrounded himself, now that he's president, with some what I would look as bad people, okay, that are I'm not taking him off the hook, that are giving him bad advice. But he's the president. He's signing it. Damn it, he's responsible, okay? We've got this Mark Green guy, you know, who I will verbally, I mean, I don't know if you see it, and anybody in our community, you know,
This
fight
is
for
Secretary
this one.
of the Army? Is that?
What's that?
Is that the Secretary of the Army?
Secretary of the Army, who's the most confused guy. I mean, he's calling people who are trans, they have a disease. I don't have a disease, okay? That as far as the bathroom issue, it's the Bible telling him to fight it, and I'm going, are you kidding me? This is evil. You know, they're calling it evil. Nobody's evil here, okay? So there are, in the Republican Party, some really bad people. We got to weed them out. And I will publicly go out. If that goes out, I will decide what I'm going to do, but I guarantee you,
We'll hear from
I will be very verbal, okay? And because of the position that I'm in, that will get out very quickly. Originally, he wanted me to play golf with him when I went back to the inauguration. He comes up, oh, come on, Caitlin, you got to come down. Got to play golf, this and that. And I thought, you know what, that's a good time that I could go down there and spend 3 or 4 hours with him on a golf course, discuss the issues, get to know him a little bit better. No, I'm there to help for equality for our community, okay? And I thought that would be a good thing. And then I realized that I really don't think, he's got a big ego. I don't think he wants to get beat by a 67-year-old trans woman.
And you would beat him.
So I thought, and then when the first Title IX decision came down,
It's on the back.
that absolutely just infuriated me. And the other thing is, I could not go play golf. I would be destroyed by my community, and I just couldn't do it. And so I've been verbally up against him. I did some Instagram posts the other day from the White House outside the gate. And And yeah, kind of coming after him. He knows I'm around. The number one thing I say to a parent, and first of all, I am not a therapist. I'm only giving my advice, okay, is just love your child. Love your child, okay? Number one, love him to death. If, let's say, the 6-year-old, the mother's watching the little 6-year-old boy playing with dolls, okay? And the mother's going, oh my God, you know, what's going on here? My little boy wants to play with dolls. Sit back and say, wait a second. Look at your child down there. And look how much joy your child is having playing with some dolls. You know? Don't spoil that by pulling them away and giving them a truck or something. Let them be themselves. They will figure it out, you know? And your job as a parent is to be there for them. We have a terrible problem with trans kids getting kicked out of houses and parents that don't understand. Homelessness in our community is overwhelming, you know? We have a lot of issues and a lot of things to do.
Now, thank you.
This is what I try to do. Most people you meet or talk to or you're out in public in have never met anybody who's trans. I take, and everybody's around me, I try to be a good person when I'm around them. I try to be nice to people. I give them hugs. I take selfies with them. I want their experience, their first experience, most likely, with a trans person, to be a positive, uplifting experience. You know, I don't want to be my nose stuck up in the air or, you know, I want it to be a good experience. I think the way we constantly represent ourselves to the public, we constantly have to work and take it personally. That I want to be a hardworking activist. I want to be a part of society, an active part of society, and I want to be a good person. And I want people to walk away from meeting me going, my God, that Caleb was so nice, you know? That's what I want for our community. I have met over the last 2 years some of the absolute greatest people who are trans, who've done amazing things with their life. I always tell everybody, find a trans person, instead of going, oh my God, you know, what do I do? What do I say? What pronouns do I use? Do I touch him? Not. Forget it. Go up there. Give him a hug. Say, I love you. How are you doing? You know? And start up a conversation. I guarantee you that person will be one of the most interesting people and interesting life stories that you'll ever hear. And listen to them. Listen to their struggles. Listen to their good times, this and that. You know, our community is a vital part of society. This is an issue that does not have borders. It's not just happening here in the United States. It doesn't stop at the border. This is humanity. Like the quote I have in the beginning of the book, you know, biology loves variations. Biology loves differences. Society hates it, by Milton Diamond.